Hey everybody, welcome to this latest edition of Snow Talk. This is Wave 3 News meteorologist Brian Good on this Veterans Day. Big salute to our men and women in uniform that make sacrifices for us. Certainly, they have before, they are today, and they will tomorrow. And big thanks, as I said on Facebook, I think you guys and gals are underappreciated, and we need to do more than just one day, certainly, to salute you all. And the parade looked good on our midday show. Looked like a good crowd. Hopefully the weather was the cause for that. It was warm out there for now. And now let's talk about, though, the cold weather. And yes, maybe some snow coming our way. I'm keeping this on standby for emergencies only. Who am I kidding? I'll probably eat it before this is over with. Anyway, here's the latest on Snow Talk here. Our stats still haven't changed. Still at a trace. I still think, though, that first average date of unmeasurable snow, which is officially a tenth of an inch or more, the average date of the 7th of December is certainly in jeopardy as early as this weekend. Speaking of that is our focus for today. The weekend, Saturday night through Monday, we'll examine the latest model trends, and we'll look at that other system that's going to be developing about a week from today into that following week there. Both of those, I have not changed the Twix bar status on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being, nothing to really worry about other than maybe a flake, and a 10 being all-out snowstorm. Right now, we're keeping on the very low end because model and got to be cautious with it because you're not dealing with the norm. All right, here we go with the change coming our way. The clouds have been increasing all morning long. Now showers and sprinkles breaking out west of Louisville. Notice the winds there at Stanford Field at 25 miles per hour. Current temperature 65, but that is about to change as the showers and the front move into the area. See the front, clearly where it's going to be at, where the rain band is back in Evansville. Notice it's not a solid band of rain, by the way, so not everybody's going to get rain out of this, but there will be a chance for some sprinkles and showers as it drifts on by. Look at the winds south now here in town, but they switch around to the west and remain gusty in Illinois. Right now the gust in St. Louis is about 30 miles per hour. Temperature there, 38 degrees. Look at Evansville. They were in the 60s just a few hours ago. Now they're 44. Even Indianapolis was 61. Now they've dropped down to 56. So the drop is happening just west of Louisville, and it'll be here likely before even news time. Temperatures across the lower 48. 8 Rapid City, 8 in Billings with some snow and cold air. Here are the temperature differences compared to yesterday. Now we're up 2 degrees in Louisville, but look at the drop. It's 29 degrees colder in St. Louis. We'll see values like that here locally, certainly as we into this evening. And 37 degrees colder in Wichita. And when you look at the wind chills, this is what it feels like. This will be our wind chill in Louisville tomorrow. What's happening in St. Louis? See at 29? Yep, that's what's going to feel like here tomorrow. And wind chill right now in Rapid City is the coldest on the map I have here at 14 below zero. This moisture is moving through. And typically, we would see such a sharp drop in temperature. We would see this rain change over to snow. But again, the moisture is very limited. So by the time we get cold enough to get some snow crystal growth, as we call it, to produce some snowflakes, at that point, most of the moisture is going to dry out. So I don't see that happening. Any chance for that looks to remain more into this area where the better moisture has been found. All right, so this is going to move on by. There's a reinforcing shot it's right here across the Dakotas. That'll move in here as we get into Thursday, and still could give a snow flurry to north and east areas. I still don't think it's going to be far enough to reach us, but we'll watch that. But even then, worst case scenario is a flake or two, so not a big deal. More importantly, is that front, as it moves by, will be the one to really drop us down temperature-wise for the end of the week. So that then sets the stage for the weekend. Let's dive right on in here. First off, on the rainfall for tonight, you can see the showers do break out. They fade away as we into the evening. I think after, say, 9 or 10 o'clock, west of 65 will be done with the rain, and east of 65 will end by midnight, and then it's all out of the area. Okay, now let's talk about the weekend. I'm going to show you both GFS models. This is the current one we use. As I mentioned on Facebook last night, the upgrade, the experimental model of the GFS, will be upgraded on the 17th of December. And I'll show you that one too, what it looks like for this upcoming event. But this is the current one. It is showing snow breaking out. This will be Saturday night, early Sunday morning. Snow showers across the region. As I advance the map into the midday afternoon hours on Sunday, there is that impulse I mentioned before. That's the setup. We've got this low moving across the Gulf states, energy there, and also energy diving down across the north. The question is, are these two going to combine and form a decent low, or are they going to stay separate streams of energy that'll pass through? That is important because if they remain separate pieces of energy, there will be a gap in between the two that pretty much will get skipped out completely. And we know how that goes around here in Louisville and Kentuckiana. It always seems to be us that we get that gap. For snow lovers, you hate that. But I'm not ruling it out. So that's why we're going to keep the chances here very low still for this event, because I can't rule out that gap forming, because we don't have enough data yet to suggest whether or not we're going to see a phased system or we're going to see more of a separate stream idea. And we're just not there yet. I think it's going to take until at least tomorrow night, if not Thursday, to really get a good handle on that, which isn't surprising. That's usually the case. But just a heads up here, I'm showing you the models, but these are going to keep flipping around like crazy until they identify the pattern here, how it's really going to congeal over the Ohio Valley. But nevertheless, the GFS as it stands now is trying to enhance the snow. It catches up with the southern stream finally once it passes I-65. It could be some decent snow showers across eastern Kentucky into the afternoon. Here's the experimental. Same scenario. It does bring us the light snow Saturday night, early Sunday. Now, as we head into Sunday, it is warming us up enough that it's going to bring that rain snow line awful close to E-Town, Bardstown, and maybe even into Louisville. So there's a chance we could see this go to rain at times. And that would make sense depending on how strong this flow is to the south. Now, if you look at the pattern here, it's got a decent low emerging out of Texas. And here's the upper energy across areas of Canada that is yet to drop down. But the other models have not been as aggressive as the GFS really has been here on this southern low portion of the split flow. In fact, as we head into Sunday night, it does try to keep that low intense enough to give us a decent, what we call a deformation band of snowfall in Kentucky, and the upper energy in Canada just still hasn't gotten involved yet until it's too late and it passes off to the east. So that would still be an accumulating snow, though, at least light amounts, so that's something to watch. So overall, the GFS is on a similar idea, the experimental a little more robust. Here is the Canadian. It throws that energy at us as we head into Saturday night and Sunday. Now you look at this and you're thinking, oh, there's the blue line, that's the rain-snow line, this must be rain. Well, not exactly. You got to look at more than that. You got to look at all layers of the atmosphere. And it is cold enough that the actual rain-snow line would be a little bit further to the south. Surface temperatures, though, would be about 33, 34. So it would be questionable at that point if anything could accumulate. A best chance would be in this area, but I still think that snow could fall. Certainly the column looks cold enough for snowflakes to make it to the ground as we head into this event on the Canadian. And then the Canadian does combine the two pieces, but just like the GFS experimental, it waits until at the last minute to really make that happen. So there could be some last minute enhancement on the back side as it pulls away, and that's just a big question mark of timing at that point when that happens, whether or not we get anything out of that here locally or it'll be off to our east. So that's the Canadian. Here is the European. Just came in a few moments ago. Same thought here. Throwing out the piece of energy Saturday night into Sunday. Again, it looks like it's going to be the rain snow line north of us, but when I examined it further, it actually is more toward the south. We're just cold enough to see some potential accumulation, but again, surface temperatures key there, right around 33, 34 at the time that most of this is falling, and that's just a big questionable scenario. Too close to call, really, when you get that close to the freezing line for that scenario. But it does not see anything robust behind it, so this would just be it. Saturday night and Sunday, nothing really for Monday. Then we head into next week. I'm only going to show you the GFS right now. I'm not going to show you all the models for this, but they all do show a very intense area of low pressure moving eastbound. And the question is it going to be here? Is it going to go track to the north? Is it going to go east? Because you can see here on the GFS, yikes, that would be a very interesting setup for Kentucky, certainly with all precip types at play with that kind of a deal for the 20th and 21st of November next week. So that is certainly one to watch. It is important to point out, though, when it comes to this system here, I need to go back to the one for the weekend. Because if this low that's going to combine with the one to the south for Saturday through Sunday, if this piece of energy ends up being decently strong as far as its pressure does drop enough, it could seriously dive down not enough cold air to really lock us into an even colder pattern than we'll see for the end of the week as we head into Monday and Tuesday of next week after the snow system passes by. And that's key because that will influence greatly what this guy is going to do when it rolls out on the 20th. If this upper feature is not as strong, and the GFS is hinting at that, then there's a chance that we'll be warmer for the system when it moves out on the 20th, it would be mostly a rain event. Maybe something frozen to start with, but then we'll go to all rain and then into snow on the backside. So it's important to note that this system is going to have, for the weekend, is going to have a big cause and effect scenario for the one next week. So right now, don't get too excited about the one next week because we have to nail down the one this weekend before we can even know about that one. So that's how it all looks today. I hope you got all that. I was trying to make this one shorter today. I didn't make it, sorry.